out in the open for people to see.
He low-key sound like my daddy. You don't want to talk to me, I'm just a dumb farmer. I ain't supposed to know these things. My daddy's so smart, I try to figure out at what point did was his. I try to see at which point he determined was the wisest point to just conform. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the stuff I think about is, I know my daddy had to have. You know what I mean? But, you know. Anyway, go ahead. The devil we know. They gonna address the non-stickware? You got Down syndrome?
6 years old. He went to Jeb Stewart Middle School.
Jeb? He looked like he went to Jeb Stewart.
I don't know. I feel so bad for that kid.
Look how old they waited to have it. That's why. Do you see how old they are?
You ain't shit.
Did you see how old they were?
No, I didn't. You ain't shit, though.
She was too old to be having a baby. She endangered that situation. They put him on Benadryl. Look, as soon as he came out,
he was born with half of the nose.
He low-key cute though with that one nostril.
Serrated eyelid. Scared he
How old is she?
Maybe that could be a nurse.
No, that's her.
Her hair was great.
She was too old to be having a newborn baby.
People have babies older now.
You know. And he didn't want to go with you.
Are you still looking at me? What's looking at me for?
When I was pregnant with Bucky, I worked for DuPont around teflon. They tried to blame me. They said it was something that I did. And the more they would tell me that,
they said you waited too late to have a baby, like somebody else saying.
But I didn't want anything exposed to. It was just like Bucky.
They didn't connect the dots with the Agent Orange babies yet, so now you hating on other ones, on the DuPont babies.
She was 74 years old when she had that baby.
You hating on the DuPont babies? What about the Orange?
DuPont.
Agent Orange babies.
In 1945, they began making Teflon today. Yeah, it's in the blood of 99%.
99% of us.
Yeah, because we be cooking with that non-stick shit. We just do.
Well, I don't know how it got, how or what.
Just like I used to feel about microwaves.
Whether near or far.
Christianity, too. Amen. His dad. Oh, another employee.
I was told by a supervisor, we fear that it might be detrimental to the women who are pregnant. So we sent all the women home, but it won't hurt the men. That's for somebody. And I questioned him.
They just can't prove that it hurt the baby because they don't have babies. I know you gonna look it up. Yeah, I want you to.
When they removed the women.
Promotes ligament and muscle healing, strengthens immunity.
I did tell them. I told them right to their face. I said, I know you're responsible for it, and you've lied, and they're still lying.
Yeah.
Too much money involved.
Stopped thinking about how I'd been dealt a bad hand, and that was just my lot in life.
You start playing that hand.
I need an answer.
And now all of a sudden all his cattle got it.
They were going to use his land for non-hazardous waste. But very quickly he noticed change.
That's what they told him.
That's why I don't be listening to what they tell us about how to water test.
The farm, do you think? That he sold part of his land?
I don't know. We'll find out.
The time is 9:01 a.m. Our opponent today is Bernard J. Riley.
I was going to say he's got to be on DuPont's side.
He is threatening to go to the press to embarrass us to pressure for big bucks. Want me to read the bad word?
Yeah, it says fuck him.
That's what it says. I apologize to anybody that says that.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
No, what do you mean? No, you wrote it.
Yeah, read what you
wrote.
West Virginia. Go ahead.
Why don't you read it? Because you wrote it.
Sure.
Let me read the bad boy.
Sizzle hit the fan in West Virginia, WV. The lawyer for the farmer finally realizes the surfactant issue. He is threatening to go to the press to embarrass us to pressure for big bucks. Want me to read the bad word?
Yeah, it says fuck him.
That's what it says. I apologize to anybody that's sensitive about bad words.
Well, you wrote it.
I was writing to an old Army friend.
You wrote it. That he
Every
didn't say who
case,
you was
in a
writing to.
complex case, there's several parts to it. Who did what?
They are the devil.
Why did they do certain things? How did they do certain things? That's called the discovery process.
Colonizers, boy.
Mr. Papatoni, you can frame that any way you want.
Frame it.
The backstory of this case is interesting.
You
FC
see
143
that? In another application, whatever, called scarring of the eyes of
Rat
something pregnancy.
fetuses.
Following pregnancy.
Rat fetuses.
Following or during pregnancy.
The fetuses.
Following or during pregnancy,
Yeah.
too.
Why did they blur that part out?
They probably come back to it. They showing us what it is.
The heart of the
So that was the first information they got about it and went forward.
Test data indicating potential birth defects here in the eyes of rat fetuses.
Based upon the 3M study, there was a potential risk.
Baby, I knew he was gonna say that.
Is their dumb ass fault for getting pregnant?
Flight
So
workers
only
were
when they
interviewed
so only when they pregnant.
To describe to the plant folks
You know
where the
what?
guy who was suing us over his cattle grazing downstream of our landfill would crucify us before a jury. Most simply do not believe how big and bad we would look and how sympathetic the farmer would look before a jury, even though he is a con man.
The farmer's a con man, trying to rip y'all off.
This is a letter to my son, I can tell you,
But are you calling him a con man?
to his face.
And when you called him a con man, did you know how many of his cattle had died?
The short answer is I did not know how many of his cattle had died.
His entire herd died. For Tennant, it was his livelihood.
They was drinking the water downstream.
I'm saying his whole herd.
Advantages of settling. Do you see that?
Yes.
It says C8 in the stream. We never told them. Right? See that? That's what it says.
And as a female, fuck you.
Lieutenant
And his wife died 2 years
of
ago.
cancer.
It's a lot of Chicago stories like that. Ray and her,
Become involved with
Ray and her husband,
or C8.
Arthur.
First aware of it prior to 1977.
Because they know people been cooking
There
on it.
was no clean blood.
Yeah, they know people been cooking and
They
eating on it.
tested kids. They tested adults. Eventually, they did find some clean blood.
Where? I
It
want
turned
to know.
out it was the blood that had been taken from
Before.
Army recruits and archived, saved at the start of the Korean War.
Whoa.
That blood was clean because the Teflon chemicals weren't
Hadn't been
out into
invented.
the environment at that point.
They're killing us so.
That's just the
Today,
side effect of them
Every
making
baby
money.
probably
I know.
on the planet
Because at the end of the day, they killing themselves too. They eating that food that they,
at least some level
you know what I mean? Their
of
family's
CA,
cooking
of,
too.
PFOS,
They don't care.
PFOA. And it's involuntary. No one said, hey, you know, I'm good with a little Teflon chemical in my baby's blood.
Yeah,
No one said that. They said, I love these pans.
yeah. She seemed like she would be more conscious, don't she?
And then
But-
you realize that companies
But
in
conscious
Asia
people don't know,
and
you know
in
what I
Europe
mean?
We're starting to make these chemicals.
At the end of the day, they're never gonna stop making it. It's too late. It's out here. You know what I mean?
When you die and they
What's
bury
that?
you, you're going to have it in your blood.
Just like he said, when they die and they bury you, you're gonna have it.
Sunlight doesn't break them down. Microbes don't break them down. Heat doesn't break them down. Nothing breaks them down.
They called this fluorine chemical the devil's piss. It was so potent.
Once it gets into your system, it remains in your blood.
That basically, what I was saying, what you generally say, that it's too deep into pockets now, and it'll never change.
Yeah.
Even for the people who's making money from it, they're willing to die for it too, eventually. You know what I mean? They're not going to go to a restaurant that doesn't use Teflon just to, because they know what they know and we don't. So I'm just saying, the money, it was like, oh, well, you know, 60's a good, pretty full life. I could do that. You know how they justify it? Do I want to live to be 100 and be broke? Or do I want to live to be 70 and ball out? Man, I could do that. Wow. Instead of, do I want to be 100 and healthy? That's not an option in those scenarios. They ain't thinking about the kids. They said fuck them kids. And fuck their own kids. He's a PE teacher.
Now, I don't consider myself a whistleblower.
He can't be a PE teacher.
He's an elementary school PE.
They don't have to be physical. You ain't running around with no little kids. You just tell them what to do.
Joe has a courtyard out back. He calls it his man cave.
It's a small town.
And we were out there just talking on a normal
Okay,
day.
that I'll buy. Okay. That other stuff.
I opened it, and there was a letter in with my water bill stating that DuPont needed to notify us there was a chemical in our water. They called it C8. I'm like, what's this about?
They want to know if you ask?
No, they wanted them to know. They must have been required to tell the resident.
I really didn't give it much.
They just told them they had to tell people, and they were like, well, people ain't going to pay no attention.
Like they was telling us when we were here.
Yeah, like they warned us. See? And then add confidence levels like they was doing us.
Because we don't get water reports no more. Anymore.
They tell you it's got shit in there, but the levels are safe. No need to worry.
My job was to pump it out back, so we'll go directly to the river.
You knew what you was doing there.
C8 was being used at that DuPont plant.
Well, DuPont had bought that land by the end. So far as she's concerned, they could do that.
Right there in the document.
Who makes the final decision as to whether or not there is a risk that needs to be disclosed to the community?
Well, again, risk is relative.
Even when they say that stuff, they're just the devil.
When we got the letter, within the next few weeks, a friend of ours talked about her granddaughter's teeth turning black and they couldn't understand it. Then looked over and there's my neighbor's dog's tumors all over him. He couldn't explain. He said, I've never seen the like. Every time I see somebody get sick, it wasn't just a cold or a flu. And then I heard about, these young guys, 2 of them having testicular cancer in the area. It got to the point where something just didn't feel right. And for some reason, don't ask me why or what, but that letter kept hanging in the back of my head. I couldn't get it out of my head.
Guidelines established by DuPont are protective of human health.
Resources.
What it is. We heard that very early in the production of Teflon products, there was a manufacturer up in the Midwest who called and said, we want you to come over here and look at this. We're heating up this Teflon. And we heard this pounding noise on the roof. It sounded like a hailstorm. It was a flock of birds. As they were flying over where the vent was, they just dropped out of the sky.
By 1984, the company knew that the material was going into the Ohio River.
That's why I tell people, even when you think your stuff is organic, you don't know what happened on the farm.
We were very proud of him. Both of them. Bucky and Emily.
God damn. They try to fuck them up. They try to fuck them up with that rice. The rice is heavy when you throwing it in.
I guess it didn't really matter to me. And I guess later when...
Because it don't matter to him. It's only when we worry about our own insecurities that make them big. You don't want to have a baby.
Never want to have a kid.
I knew it.
Have to go through all that he went through as a kid.
But he did well. And y'all would be great
parents. I didn't want it to hinder him.
Is she pregnant now?
Wanting to start a family. Even though it wasn't concerned for us in reality.
So did you see her stomach?
Did you see her stomach?
Yeah, I did.
I can't
We
tell.
started trying. We wanted to see how high his C8
Yeah.
levels were and what was in his bloodstream.
Kind of
See?
like my biggest fear.
She might be pregnant.
You know, being manifest right in front of my eyes.
She might be.
Said that there was at least a 50% chance that it could be passed on to the babies.
Yeah.
You know, that they could end up with exactly what he went through.
See, she got twins.
Yeah.
Because she said babies plural.
3M 2 days ago. It is going to stop making Scotch Guard because it is
Scotch
too
Guard.
persistent.
That's
in
what
the
3M.
environment and gets into our blood. They
That's
then
why we
told
haven't
us they're
seen it.
going to stop making a related product that is an essential ingredient in the Teflon polymer, also is very persistent and also gets into blood, but so far no signs it has hurt anyone.
Because it haven't been out there.
If it does, we are really in the soup because essentially everyone is exposed one way or the other.
The only reason it's not.
Time we,
Oh, you know he the devil.
and so 3M,
The dude without no lip.
EPA hammered out an agreement where they
Yeah,
would
that last guy.
voluntarily take
His whole ass top shit is gone. It's like
into
that.
the US EPA.
I know, you
Some
exaggerate.
Information that had just come in. EPA was expressing concerns about that data.
And so 3M, and all of this information was clear evidence that should have been disclosed under federal law. But those documents didn't show up at EPA at all. When they began to show up as a result of this court case,
Well,
that's when everything changed.
I'll be at Goodwill buying up all they silver pans tomorrow.
When do you cross the threshold?
That's so
Just started
backwards.
digging.
It's so backwards.
I was sitting here thinking, I was like, even if I get rid of it all, and I plan to, you know, even if it's gradually, but you still gonna be eating other places that you know that everybody uses it.
In almost every household.
Yeah, everybody uses it.
Supposedly they got some safe stuff now. That's what I was wondering if they supposedly saying that they changed. It's like when we were looking for pots, they had something that said they didn't have certain
just
things.
started
in it.
They all got it in there. So when they learned that 3M said, no, fuck this, we ain't getting caught with this, we ain't making it no more, they was like, ooh, now we can make it.
What will the court allow him to do?
The public had 2 years to respond. If there was no response, the case was legally dead.
Who did he talk to that sent him that thing in the mail about Tennant's case?
I don't remember. Can I rewind it?
Rob calls me from Cincinnati Airport.
Yeah.
He said,
Because I know he was trying to talk to a lot of people that wasn't talking to him. I want to know who the person was that responded. EPA.
And when I read the gentleman the letter, he said, I'm going to send you some information. And when I do, he said, I want you to read it very carefully because after you read it, you'll probably want to contact a lawyer.
The national EPA.
You see the discoloration in that eye?
The EPA?
The national. Because they got a local division. He called it national.
Key part of that was,
I wonder when he got the letter,
he said
how
the
long
cattle,
before the
their
2
teeth
years was
had
up.
turned black. And I thought, wait, everybody in this area in one way or another is connected to DuPont. You go dealing with somebody's livelihood.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Cause her,
which is their
she wouldn't. She might be getting child support, and if her husband can't get his DuPont money, even if it's retirement money, then she can't.
You can't walk into
But this is life
a
threatening.
restaurant or any gathering here in Parkersburg and not run into somebody that either worked at DuPont, has a relative that worked at
Yeah.
DuPont,
But they gotta
has
realize
a friend that
something.
worked at DuPont.
Or they just don't work in that division.
What do you mean?
Like
Oh, they might not work in that division, right? DuPont look like it's the whole city's, in, you know,
Better schools.
like craft, like our parents. People work at the, like, I think my dad, everybody worked at the paper mill where my parents live. DuPont Road.
Schools, churches.
They make everybody comfortable, so you don't want to threaten.
Reputation for safety, good jobs, great benefits, good citizens. You know, everybody thought they could do no wrong.
One eye.
DuPont was my idol. I used to cut grass for DuPonters when I was young. But I don't blame them. It's the people who run the company, the people who make the decisions.
That is them, isn't it?
I should have opened my eyes.
Who was the company then?
But I love DuPont, so
What did I miss?
wouldn't put me in harm's way.
Brainwash. The conditioning. That's what you missed.
We want
A
to
lifetime
believe
of it.
It's too horrible to believe that every day we get up,
That's
we're
right.
at the mercy of a corporation who might lie to us, who might poison us,
Yeah.
who might create a product that's going to kill us
Yeah, it's hard
for
to.
profit. We have to stick with C8. C8 is the devil we know.
No, it's not. The corporate that allows, that makes it and puts it in our water. Don't, y'all still protecting them. They're still protecting them.
But how did they just
called
be legally allowed to
externalizing
dump it in the fucking water?
Like
we
this.
want to make all the profits at DuPont. We want to pass all the risk, all the illness, all the suffering, all the cost of cleanup onto the taxpayer.
Right. But y'all let them do it. You know, as far as the government go, y'all let them do it. Y'all know they were doing it. But y'all still let them do it. Why don't you tie their hands and say, y'all can't dump it. Y'all got to find a way to dispose of your own stuff.
Spaghetti, I'm sorry.
Or your plant got to be somewhere. You know what I mean? You can make it. You just can't dispose of anything.
Leftover, so you know, be good.
They got the ability to test it. So they know what the fuck.
They shouldn't even be able to make it.
Parkersburg was certainly contaminated with chemicals, C8, correct?
I don't know if I would characterize it that way.
50,000 pounds.
They got Becky in on it.
Put into the river is not a contamination. At one point, DuPont came out and said, if your drinking water is showing more than 1 part per billion of C8, then you better not drink the water. Let me give you an idea what that is. It's 1 drop of C8 in an Olympic-sized pool.
God damn.
Well, there's a hell of a lot more than that.
What the
in people's
fuck?
water in the Ohio River Valley.
You know, DuPont wouldn't poison anybody. The shock
Really?
talk was if Joe was out.
Cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug.
We've had some resistance. I mean, as far as being shunned, wife got a phone call one day and the guy gets on there and starts cussing her out.
This is awful. You're doing this. There's not a thing wrong with
Why are you
that.
browbeating poor DuPont like this?
Based on our assessment of the science, we do not believe this poses.
Ooh, look at that devil in his eye.
Have an effect in animals don't necessarily have a similar effect in humans.
Oh, they got a coon
DuPont put
to
together
a token.
this team of legal experts and scientists to
Why?
defend their chemical. And it was led by someone named Mike McCabe.
The governmental agencies that should have been responsible, the EPA, those people were captured by DuPont.
Yeah, because the EPA is the one that sent the dude the letter that started probably the whole lawsuit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the EPA on their side, or in the process of getting them on their side, paying them off for whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, if they won't believe us, they'll believe the EPA if the EPA says that it's okay.
Mm-hmm. How do I back up my phone to make my...
You do what?
Back up my phone so that my memos are on there. Nobody tell you to get up in my video.
Oh, you... Man... You back it up the whole phone? Or you just want your memos?
I mostly just want my memos.
Can't you just,
and my voicemails, I guess.
Can't you just do it like that from that side?
Huh? Look at you, crackly sounding ass.
It's not sexy.
You going through the boy voice change?
And Peter Brady.
Was that the word he was saying?
That was his part when he said change.
Really? That's the actual word too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because his voice was changing.
I know his voice was changing, and I know it happened on camera, but I just...
So they made it, put it in the song. Because he was upset because they were supposed to do the song, and his voice got messed up.
Oh. Did your voice change like in 30 minutes like that? Overnight?
Look, I don't know what... I don't know.
I know y'all be having them growth spurts. I know I don't remember my voice changing. We be in school, and the shortest motherfucker, Shout out to you, Jeff Bird, the shortest motherfucker in the class. After the summer break, come back and be the tallest hoe in there. Like, what happened?
You sure that ain't, this is old stuff?
Yeah, it's old stuff.
And you know you got a lot.
I got all this on the computer, so all this.
What's
can
with your hand and stuff?
So all this can be deleted. Namaste.
Okay.
Not that you should. It is just verification that all of my new recordings are not added onto my data. So if I can get you to help me to download and to have aligned all my memory data, thank you, IT person.
What does that have to do? What is your
my
accent has to do with your hands?
I'm communicating with my IT person, and he seems to be offended by my.
What's with your accent?
He seems to be offended.
You racist.
He seems to be offended.
You racist.
You are my IT.
You stereotype.
Are you not my IT man?
Are you? You must be the IT. What you level one? You level one Amazon support. You level one Amazon support.
Don't just put down. That's everybody. That's
okay. You level one Chase Bank support.
PayPal. That's the bank.
You level one support.
That's the random motherfucker that call and spam you and tell you that they can help you with your computer problem.
Even the made in the USA companies. That's
do they be calling your mama telling them that she got a virus on her computer too?
I don't know.
Did I tell you they call my mama with that bullshit?
She said I don't have no computer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm saying, yeah.
I gotta figure it out
for her. That make me glad she don't, cause I wouldn't want her to believe that bullshit. But anyway, did you hear the part where she said, "I tell you what, you buy me a computer." And then yeah, she said, "You go buy me a," because he wasn't listening to her. You buy me a computer, and then when my computer breaks down, when you call me, you can help me fix it. That was some family shit.
We're gonna back your phone up first and see if it come on there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. How'd you do that? I need to know where you went to go to back it up.
Picture.
Yeah, she told me she was going again. Oh, did I tell you they didn't want to go?
They didn't want to go what?
To the movies for her. I be knowing everything.
The EPA. Those people were captured by DuPont, and it was very successful.
Why?
As for all those pots and pans in the homes of Americans, both DuPont and the federal government say there's no need right now, Elizabeth, to throw them out.
No need to throw them out, but it seems like plenty of need for concern.
You saw her face.
I'm surprised they let her get away with that.
Oh, was she pouring it on?
Shut up, that would be awesome.
I don't know. I think they baby gonna be okay though. I don't know why.
I hope
feel
so.
Like they baby gonna be okay.
Eye, forehead.
I want to see two nostrils.
You better want to see two
keep
eyes.
It real because I know that's what it was.
You want to see two eyes too, right?
Yeah.
You need to want to see another eye, cause they only see one eye. One of her eyes a little low too.
We really had to pray about to know, are we going to take the next step? And
You see,
have
low
children?
key. I think the baby gonna be fine too, cause I think that, or I think it wouldn't have been the show. Yeah.
Any type of deformities, and it's 100% healthy.
Cause they would have still found a way to.
We're ready for it.
Yeah, they're a good couple.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good couple. They go together.
And he said what I said. If anybody could parent a child with that issue, they could. He's been through it all, and strong.
Can I restart the computer or no?
Yeah, go ahead. Maliciously, I really don't want to be emotional about them.
In 2005,
because we go through so much stuff DuPont. Just as black people.
They say that
they don't care this much
about. To mediate. Of course, we went through negotiations and everything for the settlement amount.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just take that money provided by DuPont under the settlement and divide it up among the class members and walk away, what we decided to do was set up something we called the C8 Science Panel. The community wanted wanted to know, does drinking PFOA actually have links to human
Don't
disease?
tell me they gave up that money though. Do they still get some money though?
That was
Wow.
the money, but it was
Shout
one
out
that
to them.
turned out paying off for everybody in the world.
Oh, shout out to them.
Remember that DuPont has spread C8 all over.
Because
They didn't give a
they was
piece
gonna
of it
pay
though.
them, but then that means that's over and done with, and then they can continue. to
Yeah,
do
and
what
they needed to
doing.
take the money to study. And I get that, but they didn't get a piece. They didn't get a few
I don't know, they
thousand.
may have.
God damn. But shout out to them for all agreeing to do that.
I wonder how much it came out to.
Me too.
How bad this stuff is.
The exposures had caused any harm.
Oh, and then they probably get more.
The test results will prove C8 is safe, but a lot depends on how many take the test.
You can help, and you may be paid up to $400. To get started, call
That's enough to make me not want to go.
We ended up also using that money to pay class members to come in and have their blood tested for PFOA and to provide access to their medical information.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. At the very least, the class action people should go in.
$400 check.
Anyone who participates in the study also waives their right to sue if CA could not be linked to any
One of
disease.
the things that was sort of an unknown at the time was how long this process would take. It ended up taking more than 7 years.
Half the motherfuckers died. Absolutely. Now, if they said
Virtually the entire affected population, estimated at 70,000 people participated.
get down,
It's the largest human health
Get
study
down,
in the history of the world
cities.
in terms of its breadth and scope.
oh, I'm so proud of these motherfuckers.
The eyes of the world have been on this science panel. The chemical industry has been keenly interested in what was going to come out of this.
They designed the most world-class studies that have ever been done on a pollutant.
It
They
still
spent
stays though,
7 years.
because they shouldn't be in business.
7 years studying this community. What other chemical do you have this kind of information about? The science is unequivocal now. And in 2012, they said that there was a link between drinking this in the water and 6 different diseases.
And in a country that cares, there would be no more DuPont brand anything, right? Right?
In a country that cares, that really truly cares, yeah. It's too embedded. Too many people getting paid.
is.
Because you already got the EPA in your pocket.
Right.
What the fuck is that about?
Right.
And y'all knew for how many years
and you can go
it
to,
takes this much just to get some?
And you can go to your favorite hardware store. It can be a major one or it can be a corner hardware store. And you going to have DuPont all across that damn goddamn labeling. But that makes sense why I haven't heard that name in a long time.
What?
DuPont.
The science, when you look at the deformities that these animals had, that I had the same deformities.
They ain't going nowhere.
That's not a coincidence.
They're not giving you, they saying he's not a word.
You could argue that Bucky Bailey's...
Oh my God.
That's what I was telling you. They just say that's just normal birth defect.
Are you fucking, I'm talking about, but after,
I know.
I'm talking about after the lawsuits and stuff. So he don't get paid, he don't get nothing.
The science panel came back and said, we haven't really got a complete link to your deformities.
So he don't get no piece of it, and he got everything.
That I had the same deformities. That's not a coincidence.
Oh my God.
And they know the levels, how big it was.
Bucky Bailey's birth defects
His
were
mama
not
was the first one.
that the birth defects of the other
Remember?
child in that group of 8 children weren't related. And I think DuPont
So
did
they trying
argue
not to pay the
that it can't be
first
proven.
people that got
But the odds
affected.
of that being the case are very low.
You study 8 women
So the main people
with C8,
not getting
2
paid.
had children with birth defects.
You see what I'm
Would
saying?
not be significant.
In the realm of scientific fact.
His mama was in the room with the direct chemicals.
I know, honey.
Okay. I'm
Bucky
just
Bailey's
tripping.
birth defects were not related. that the birth defects of the other child in that group of 8 children weren't
I didn't
related.
see that coming.
And I think DuPont did argue that it can't be proven.
That's what's fucking with me.
Where'd they get out of?
They said they didn't have enough information.
To be proven. But the odds of that being the case are very low.
You studied 8 women who worked with CA. 2 of them had children with birth defects. That would not be significant.
In the realm of scientific fact, this is not considered a statistically significant sample.
They said they didn't have enough information. How much information do you have to have?
You know
have
what that's
two
like?
babies?
You know what that's like? That's like when you say, okay, heads or tails, and then you're wrong. You say, okay, 3 out of 5, and then you wrong again. You're like, okay, 5 out of 7. That's like you just gonna keep going.
You know
until
what they're
get...
basically saying? They're saying, well, we didn't know back then, so therefore it might not have been that. That's what the logic they're
But they
using.
knew back then.
But they're claiming they only found out after they got caught. After somebody said, hey.
Well, right now it sounds like they're just saying that you can't prove that.
Back then.
You can't prove that his defects are from that.
But she was one of the only 2 women that had.
And can't they use his levels in his blood to determine too?
And they were the only 2 women.
No, there was 2 out of 8.
But they were the only ones that got pregnant.
No, out of 8 pregnant women.
Pregnant.
Yeah.
All of them pregnant.
That's you're not listening. You too busy.
I listened all
taking
4
out.
times.
Be proven.
How much do you need?
How can there not be like... It's hard for me to stay idle and say, okay, I accept this. I don't want to accept it.
You don't have to.
They should get so many millions of
May
dollars.
it please the court.
They should get so many ridiculous millions of dollars. And that's what they don't want to give up to them.
For years now, it's been argued
The first people they poisoned.
poisonous, but for the first time today, a jury agreed.
A plaintiff in the first case in a long line of personal injury and wrongful death suits against the DuPont company has been awarded $1.6 million.
It was
Good.
definitely a fasten your seatbelts kind of moment.
Good for all of them.
DuPont had realized that juries saw things.
So
in a
all
different way.
of them getting at least $1 million?
This case is the first case against DuPont that went to court, and it's going to cost them possibly their reputation.
I think everybody saw the writing on the wall. That if we could win the first case, we could win on virtually all of the cases.
A federal jury recently awarded $5.1 million in these.
The jury found that DuPont acted with malice.
To the whole town or each person?
It's going to justify it. This is a criminal offense.
Yeah, it is. It's a moral offense.
They're walking around with their freedom,
Yeah.
untouched.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they still can get out there and just do whatever. It's biological. Yeah.
They ought to go to jail.
Oh, that ain't enough.
They probably made up more than $1 billion.
That ain't
Billions
enough.
of dollars since they knew.
$1 million?
Yeah. That,
Really?
That's
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
This is a company at the time that was selling
Yeah.
$25 billion
Yeah.
worth
Yeah.
of products every year.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I'm not sure what the right fine would be for contaminating humanity.
Oh, that's
contaminating the
the
living-
final amount?
But I'm pretty
No.
sure it's not $16 million.
Oh, that's what the government found.
DuPont
That's
did
it?
give
Yep.
was to participate in a gradual phase out of C8.
We'll gradually stop poisoning.
You want to talk to his daddy. He trying to talk to his daddy.
In that pre-op, just thinking,
You can't
what's my
script
reaction
that.
gonna be when I see him?
But he had a good daddy, so he know how it should be done. She's so rough with that baby. He red now.
I know this is gonna be okay, but what if it's not okay?
Came out rough.
Shit, she was rough with his ass. You made your daddy that happy too, so it's all good. Pass down the love. Yeah, I knew their baby was gonna be alright. But I'm pissed off that I did not think this was gonna end without him getting a big piece of some rock. He should be so paid.
This is not
What?
something that I should have to have.
Is that a DuPont shirt he's wearing right now?
It's not over yet.
I thought I saw something, but I didn't.
I saw DuPont, and it might have just been me in my head. Okay. Wait. Crisp that out.
I think it's just the color.
He milk drunk. That's milk drunk. Okay. That baby milk drunk. I know. Sweet, baby, sweet.
This isn't the end. We're gonna fight till everyone is safe.
Y'all gonna go to Detroit? Or y'all just gonna stay on y'all side of the
I
town?
don't know what C8 does with life.
You mean Detroit where they got Flint water?
But changes have to be made.
You know what I mean? They got Flint water in Detroit.
We don't have the science yet to explain long-term exposure, but we're just beginning to understand
Bullshit.
all kinds
Well,
of
you
new
know that
risks.
shit's fucking people up. Y'all don't do nothing about it.
At very low
They buy
levels,
another
this
fucking
Teflon chemistry
20
can
years
affect the
before
immune
something
system.
gets done, and they can get
have
one lawsuit.
impacts on the nervous system. They can have impacts on
Low
how we
key,
metabolize.
this actual documentary is still protecting them or showing them how they can stay protected.
Showing
Showing
what they use now.
C8 on day one, they may not manifest disease for years. Children, for example, we're starting to see them become ill with latent kinds of disease.
Because we're just figuring out what it is. Scientists are just catching up with it. And as they're doing this, they've already phased in the replacement.
And is they putting that in the water?
So that's already out there. You can see from this story, from this vantage point, that it almost goes on forever.
Drinking water in North Carolina is being tested for a toxic substance called
I'm gonna take a
shenanigans.
pill.
It turned up recently in the Cape
I'm
Fear
gonna take a
River.
pill. I'm just coming
Shenanigans
next.
is the replacement chemical being used for Teflon production after DuPont was found to be using a previous toxic.
What if they just named it different and moved one little molecule?
They've just replaced one poison with another.
But why do y'all let them dump it in the water?
I'm just gonna hike up my cannabinoids and pray.
Did you see that?
And meditate. What, it bubbled?
No.
Oh.
Are you reading what they put up there?
They had the nerve to call it Kim Moores, like Kim Hours.
So, there you go.
Oh my God.
Because you know what?
This is America.
See, DuPont, and then they did not respond. Why is it not regulated?
One of 88,000. There's no escape.
There isn't, but they just tell them. You know what that would do to stock prices of the company? You know how many markets will be affected? Rich people markets?
Yeah, I do. I do.
And all the people that's players?
Stuff that we don't...
On both sides.
Stuff that you wouldn't even imagine is linked.
The dude that's supposed to be fighting against it got stock in it.
That's right.
And he didn't know, now he know, now he like, well, I can't get it, you know, what, fuck that.
That's right.
You know, that's why either you and the rich, conservative, don't give a fuck accept money and power game, or you're not. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
That's all they fucking care about.
He didn't look like
Because like they said, and they do the same thing with the fucking prescription drugs. They let them make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off a product, and then they come in and slap them on the wrist with a $10 million fine. They already made so much freaking money. What's that to pay a fine? $10 million. And why are you allowing them to dump the shit in the fucking water? Like he dude was saying, if the police see me take a bleach bottle and dump it in the fucking river, I'm gonna get fucking arrested.
For mass murder attempt.
I tried to contaminate. No,
You would be a terrorist. Biological warfare.
Source. Right. Right.
They would accuse you of terrorism.
And what if I told him, no, this is just Gen X? What the fuck? This is Gen X. This ain't nothing. But they making it seem like it's through the water where it's getting.
Okay, well,
I'm still trying to figure out how people were getting infected. And she worked.
She worked directly with the chemical.
There's particles and shit and hell. I can see that.
She was right there stirring the shit and sending it into the lake.
With no mask on.
With no mask. Gloves.
And she's sending it into the fucking lake.
Including kidney problems, kidney failure, and bone problems.
Like, it seemed like I would come home to you and be like, honey, I just don't know. They got me dumping this shit in the fucking river. It can be good. You know, like it seemed like I would come home and be saying something to you.
It's making me nauseous imagining it. Imagining that scenario. It's making me nauseous imagining it.
And you see the amount that be coming off when they show, like it going in the water. It's a lot. And they talking about 1 drop per fucking Olympic size pool.
Patients may pay as little as a $0 copay. Find out more at Gerada.com.